Alright, we're going to do the tutorial drawing that is showing us how to do tangent, tangent, radius, remembering strong base lines, strong base circles. Copy this, copy, select, left click by the ear, space, 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 a number of things like that. I'm going to start with this drawing by drafting in a box larger than the thing I'm going to draw, so I'm going to make my box starting now right on the right layer. Click down here. I'm going to make sure that all my layers are on, so I got the object layer on there. I'm left clicking and hitting the delete key because I want to really start to put my box on the layer view using a rectangle. One of the few commands we're not looking at what it asks us for. We hit a left click and then at 10, 10 if our dynamic is not on. I'm going to turn these off. I'm going to hit X after I select it, and then I'm going to offset maybe this one. I'm going to offset maybe 3 on the top. Offset to get a first baseline established here. Take that right away and change it to center line. Get pretty good early now about getting things on different layers. 3.5 below that, I've got the center of another circle. Off 3.5, offset. Offset 3.5. Remember, two types of offsets. One is through and another one is going to be 3. Offset 3. Remembering now, oh, my box is definitely not big enough, but not to worry, we can get rid of the box. We don't really need the box. We can make the box bigger. We've got 3 center lines there. Erasing the box. Trying to do a better job the first time on the box. And we're going to pause it here while we put the pizza in for the kids. Alright, I'm resuming now, and I'm going to go ahead and establish then the left and right. And so I'm going to do that just, I guess, by just starting here, realizing if I draft right now, it's going to draft on layer view. So I might as well change it to center line. Take a line there, hit shift right click, end point of there, shift right click, end point of there. And realizing we have an offset of 2.25 and an offset of 5.25. Offset 2.25 and then another 3. So 3. And we then have locations of our circles. One here, and one here. We can get those major circles in. We can do a circle. And this time we might go ahead and change it immediately to object, so our eye starts to pick up what we're doing. Circle. There are 3 at a diameter of 2. So diameter, shift right click, intersection here, diameter of 2. We can left click now that, left click spacebar, C for copy, shift right click, intersection here, and then shift right click, intersection here. All that's left now is some exterior circles and then some tangent radiuses, or fillets. You will see will be the same thing. So we have a circle radius at the top right, shift right click from the intersection here, a radius of 1.75. I'm going to go ahead and for the first time I'm going to go shift right click, change my object snap settings and set them to intersection, and then go ahead and turn on the object snap, not the snap. And I'm going to then be able to draw the rest of these without having to do shift right click. That's only if you're going to be thoughtful and deliberate about what you're doing, however. Remember there, we can go to the circle there, but we want to remember to go to the circle. Center radius, we're going to get close to there. We want a radius of 2.5, and then we want a radius from there of 2. Realizing here then we have a number of different things. Fillet does not always work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. But tangent radius almost always will, though it is not as efficient. We have out here, we have a radius 4 circle. We don't need the snaps on, but watch what happens even when we turn them off now. We're going to go circle, tangent radius. We give it a hint to where we want it to be here, where we want it to be there, and we give it 4, and it draws that circle. we give it a hint here. Again, circle, tangent, tangent, radius. We give it a hint outside, and we give it a hint outside, and we give it a radius, in this case a 6. And right away that one would be worth immediately trimming, TRIM. And this time, not screw that, sorry, trim. And I'll grab the two edges here, and I'll go ahead and do that. I've got that exterior out here. And then as we go here and around, we realize here we have one more location, which was 4.5 and 2.5 down. So we're going to take from this line here, offset 4.5. That gets us that point. And then offset 2.5. And it gets us that point. And we have right in that point right there, we have a circle as well. Circle, center radius, I believe it's that point right there, the intersection, which I didn't need to say, and we have 1.5. Now we have a tangent, tangent radius of 4. Again on the outside and on the outside, and say 4. Trim. This time do not say screw that. Instead grab that one there, and you have that one going here. Now you have a tangent, tangent radius of 0.75. The inside and the inside, 0.75. Once again, trim here and here, and you're going to trim that out. Now you're going to see the rest of this is just to kind of go through and do your trims. TRIM. You can often then say screw that. At this point, because you don't want to trim back to all these center lines, it's a great time to learn to use the layer freeze command. And that would be right there. You could also do it within the layer command, but if I hit layer freeze right now, it's going to clear out all that stuff, and I get something that looks a little bit easier to trim to. Now I can do trim, screw that, pick out the outside there. Trim, we don't really need these two, or we do need the trim for those. We select that out, grab these two, select that out, grab here, these two, and grab here, these two. And we have that shape completely done. We can then bring in the center lines. How do we turn things on? Basically, go back to layers here, which is that bit there. We click on here, and we have essentially, without doing dimensioning, we have all of the dimension lines essentially laid out the way we want them to be. Of course, the last thing we want to do very often is to p-edit together. So we're going to go ahead and, once again, this time freeze the layer. Once again, we're going to click here. We're going to freeze that layer. Do p-edit. Select. Yes. Join. Cross. Make sure it all went together. And then finally, we're all going to very often learn to do this. Region. Select our object. Region. Make circles of things. And then subtract. Subtract the outside spacebar, subtract the two insides. And then just for fun, viewports, 2 cameras. Okay. Right click, get your view toolbar up. Over here you double click in one of those viewports and you give it an isometric. So you're looking at it from some odd direction. You double click over here and you say EXTRUDE. Select your object, and immediately you're giving it some height. And there you have it. Shade is the nice command to see it in many different directions. That's why you do things well in terms of polyline. Immediately you have something which has mass prop, has lots of information. Thanks for listening. That was the tutorial exercise on doing tangent, tangent, radius.